thou keeping up with us. All right, you are all welcome. Let us get going without any waste of time. Promising you that we will indeed have a fantastic time. So I will start with the beautiful news. Some of you may have noted that this week, and on the media part, it was actually mentioned that once again, exchanges like Binance, the FSCA, actually the Reserve Bank, release a mandate to the banks, telling them that they must not harass us. All right. So they were actually informed. 1 second, please. I'm making sure that I do not run out of my battery. Okay. Yeah. So I'm trying to. Yeah, I think everything is fine now. 1 second, please. Bear with me. I'm making sure all my technicalities are in place. All right, I'm sorted now. So yeah, the Reserve Bank has actually made it clear to the banks that they must treat cryptocurrency companies as a business. All right, you remember that 2 years ago, FNB decided that it will not actually transact in crypto, so they were closing exchanges, so we're not able to deposit using FNB. So that has changed. Remember that last year we actually started to avoid using international brokers like Binance, but now Binance is back again with a South African deposit, so that is actually free. So yeah, that is back in the game. So meaning that if ever you want to transact with the Binance, and then you will be able to do so. So that's one of those big ones that I need you to understand. So it was released and quickly, and then we were able to transact. So that's one of those a few things that I want to take you through. Obviously, Binance is a very complicated website. It's big, it's very complicated, but that is where I am going to start. So if you understand that, that will be beautiful. So another thing that you need to understand is that as much as it is a big website, it's got many things. As you can see, it's a whole lot of things. On the same website, you can see the likes of NFTs. There are also NFTs. And then here, that is where we buy crypto as a ZAR. All right. So as a ZAR, that is where we buy crypto. The online banking is now back. It uses Stinch. So now you can also use your bank card to make some deposit. That is the most beautiful thing, because Binance is one of those big websites. So let me quickly try to log in so that I will actually make things easier for you guys to understand. I always try by all means to make a practical demonstration. But what I always recommend is that before you jump into the likes of Binance, make sure that you are quite familiar with the local one. All right, we are quite familiar with what the local exchanges, because that's how it actually work easier. I'm trying to remember my password. Hey guys, I'm trying to remember my password here. Look like I've forgotten my password. Oh, all right. Seems like I've remembered it. You know, when you are using many passwords, sometimes you tend to forget some. All right. So yeah. Okay. Ow. All right. So this is the Binance. It's complicated a little bit, but you must know in this website, you must know where to go. You need to know that, okay, I'm with this part of buy crypto, ZA, and then you can click online banking. That's one part that I wanted to show you. And then obviously you can choose a South African rands. As you can see, you choose a South African rands. And then after that, you can actually click continue. All right. So it's simply and straightforward. Even if you are using a smartphone, after that, you can choose the bank that you are actually using amongst these banks. You can see we've got all the top 5 banks, ABSA, we've got all the top banks, not Capitec. Oh, there's Capitec as well. So all of them are here, and they're not the new ones that like Tam Bank is not yet here. But yeah, these are 5 major banks in South Africa. So, and then you can just deposit as a normal deposit. And then on the Binance, you can be able to buy the likes of what you can be able to buy NFTs, and there are many other options that are actually available. So it's a big website, but part of the news that I actually wanted to remind you is that now we are actually able to use the Binance website to make simple deposit directly from our bank accounts. All right. So you remember that we had a problem like last year or 2020, where the likes of FNB and all other banks decided that they are not going to accept deposits. So it was a struggle to deposit towards those offshore exchanges like Coinbase, like Binance. But now it's very much easier and straightforward. Remember that Binance is one of those big exchanges across the world. I think all cryptocurrencies are available here. I think all cryptocurrencies are actually available on Binance as well as on Coinbase. And the beautiful thing is that they are actually good markets, all right? They are actually good markets, and they have a very strong reputation. So that's one of those few things. So if ever you wanted to use international brokers in order to buy and store your coin in your selected wallet, so you have different options that you can actually use now. Okay, so as you can see here, you can see that it's a lot of cryptocurrencies that are available here. I don't know the number, but on these ones, it's a whole lot. So I've just clicked on all cryptocurrencies. You can see the ones that have risen today, the ones that are not. So others are actually useless, but we have a whole lot of stuff here, as you can see. And others are obviously a duplicate of what you already have, but there are those like the maker. Some of you, they do not have the maker, and you can see how many columns here, two, and you can go on and on. Like, let me jump to 8, and yeah, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 pages. Hey, that's a lot. All right, that's really a lot. So if you understand that, that will be very beautiful. So here you can also be able to place some orders. That's another beautiful thing that you can also be able to do here. If you want to place some orders, then you will be able to place orders and do all sorts of things. All right, so if you choose a spot market, where is it now? All right, spot market. All right, that is where you can actually be able to take. Here you can trade here on the spot market. The beautiful thing is that you can actually trade. You can even short the currency, but the danger when the market goes against you, then that means you can actually wipe up your account, as well as same thing on the futures market, of which I do not recommend. So you rather stick to an element of buying, selling over that short-term part. So if you understand what I mean, that will be very beautiful. But here I can actually say you can use at your own given moment, you can download the Binance app, and then you will have a lot of options available, a lot, big and small. So that's one of those few things that I wanted to actually make it clear today, so that some of you will understand that Binance now it's working fine with South African banks, and it's also working fine with the South Africans users. So it's no longer like a fussy problem. Some of you were asking me during the course of the year about the Coinbase, the Binance. So I actually made it clear that there's still a problem after the undertaking from FSCA. But what I find interesting is that sometimes these regulators, they do not communicate. FSCA will say something, and then the Reserve Bank will also come up with something that is totally different from what is said by FSCA. So everyone is trying to find a foot when it comes to cryptocurrencies, because I'm not sure if ever those people are actually participating in the market or not. So that's one of those few things that you need to understand. And the second thing that you need to be familiar with, while I'm still on the Binance website, this is what I want to quickly remind you guys. So when you are actually analyzing the market, it's very much important to actually look also at the market cap of a particular coin. For instance, this is the market cap of a Bitcoin. It's down to 416. All right, and that is a 416 million. Okay, so it's down to 416 million. So at some point it was a billion and above, but it's really down. But what it will actually assist you when you monitor even the market cap. All right, so let me also check the market cap on the where is the coin market? Okay, I can't see it. Let me quickly check the coin market cap with you guys. I think, yeah. So this is the coin market cap. So this is what I want you to understand. So this is the market cap, 412. And then what will actually help you to understand what is happening with the markets and the likes of Bitcoin and stuff? Monitor the market cap. If the market cap is actually dropping, and then monitor that, because that tells you that the market is actually going down. When you look at Ethereum, where if it goes below 198 and so forth, you know that it's also dropping. So it's very much important if ever you also clearly monitor how the market is actually behaving, how the market cap is actually moving. Is it going down or is it going up? So those are the few things that you must be familiar with. So if you understand all those things, that will be very much beautiful. So that's one of the few news I wanted to highlight, that now on Binance, we are actually in a good position to use Binance freely, knowing that there will be no actions, or there will be no interference from the banks. So now everything is just open and straightforward. And yeah, we are very much welcome now to use Coinbase and Binance without having to use other exchanges in order to transfer from those exchanges. So now we can actually deposit direct. So those are the interesting news for today. And yeah, so that's one of the updates that I wanted to give you. And then while I'm still on coin market cap, I will also remind you that I always say for the always put your money where the money is. So if you are to make a deposit, for instance, look where the money is. Don't try to find another small new cheap coin that is promising. No, the coin is actually a software that must prove itself, prove its space. So if ever it's just new and we do not know anything about it, then that's a mistake. That is how we get banned. So that is why I always say focus on the 1250, focus on at least on the top 100, but the top 50 is the best, whereby you know that this coin has got like a future, it's got a niche in the market, it's actually solving a certain problem or bringing a certain solution. So those are the few things that you need to actually check and be part of your focus. And I'm encouraging you, because sometimes I receive questions about the coin that sometimes the first time I even hear about it, I don't know, and I will always say I do not know. Obviously, your knowledge must go beyond what we teach you, because now we are giving you the tools so that you are able to do your research further. All right, so that's one of those few things that I also need you to understand, that you need to extend your understanding and your knowledge going forward, because some of the coins are actually good. It's just that they are still new, so people are skeptical about them. So if ever you are to take a risk, you may take a risk, you may get bent. But my focus as a very experienced investor and a trader, my focus is more on those stable coins who are already bringing solutions, already having a market share. Those are part of what I call my focus, but you can also have your own focus for that matter. Okay, so I hope that is clear and straightforward amongst you good people. All right, moving to the next. Some of you will also remember that I used to share something about Revix. I've been using Revix, I think, for the past 3 years now. But the reason why I wasn't sharing to you anything about Revix is because there was no app. There was no app for Revix in the past, but now they do have app. And then I will show you a few dynamics about Revix, so that if ever it's one of those things you are interested in, then you can actually check it out. Remember, you do not have to open an account in each and every exchange. No, you don't have to do that. The reason why I open accounts, I have accounts in different exchanges, is because I'm using platforms to also educate people, so that you will also have a choice to choose which one can work best for you. So as an educator, it's a must that I have knowledge of all the platforms in terms of how they work, what are the benefits, what are the advantages, and so forth. So that's one of those a few important things. But for you, you are not necessarily obligated to use all the platforms. You can choose one or two and be sorted and then continue with that. But the only thing that is actually different about the Revix is that they've grouped coins together, so you can actually have something like a bundle. So there's a top 10 crypto bundle, just like S&P 500, just like Nasdaq 500. So when you check the top 10, is down by 1.80 today. You can check it out and you can see what companies are part of that. Not companies, what coins. Sorry, what coins are part of that top 10. You can see it's Ethereum, Binance Coin, Cardano, Polkadot, Avalanche. So those are part of the coins that are on what? That are part of this weight. So you can also download to check which coins are there and so forth. You can actually check that out. So that's the platform for you to actually be able to do that. All right. So I hope that is actually clear and straightforward. So in this case, you are able to actually buy a bundle so that you actually minimize even the risk. Okay, so but it's down by 63%. You remember this week again, the crypto market like went down heavily, still revolving around the 70% decline. So it can go down even 20% more. But that is why I am saying that if you have a certain capital, I will recommend that you use your capital, allocate accordingly. What you can simply do is maybe if you have, let's say, 5,000, you can use 1,000 or 1.5 every time there's a discount in the market. All right. Every time there's a discount in the market, you grab some. All right. And then another bundle, what we call an index, it's a smart contract. All right. You need to understand that things like a Ripple, they are part of what we call a smart contract. Remember that in the near future, when we are actually buying a property or you are buying a car, you will actually sign a smart contract. It will no longer be like having someone who is like an agent or a salesman. No, you can just go, you can do it online and so forth, because that's what we call a smart contract. So you can just do it yourself. You need no lawyer, you need no agent, you need no middleman. So that is the purpose of what? A smart contract. And that is what I always emphasize all the time, that you must know what each and every cryptocurrency represent or indicate. So if you understand all those elements, that will be very much better. And then we also have inflation or payment bundle. All right, we also have a payment bundle. So all these crypto are grouped together. All right, these ones, those are the ones that are actually processing payments. So these are some of them, including the Bitcoin, the Litecoin, the XRP, the Stellar Lumeni, and many others. So they are grouped according to their functionality. All right. So the other ones are for smart contracts, other one for processing payments, other one for actually building other platform on top of them. All right. And then we have inflation shield bundle. All right. We have inflation shield bundle. Let's see how is it doing. The likes of gold. That's Bitcoin and gold. We actually call it Bitcoin is more like digital gold. That's what we normally call it, digital gold. So you know that the gold is actually one of those assets that is used against inflation, because it always rise in value. Same thing that the Bitcoin always do, to always rise in terms of what? In terms of value. And we also have another ones, the likes of decentralized finance. Decentralized finance is more like crypto loans, so to say. Okay, so crypto loans, so to say. So these are some of them, the likes of Compound, Kev token, Loop. So others, this one inch is more like, I forgot this one, but I'll remember as time goes on. So these are more like for, it's the same thing with the like personal loans, but now it's on the crypto. All right, it's like a banking loans, a mortgage, because as time goes on, these are all different. The likes of pancake swaps, these are on the Uniswaps. These are all different cryptocurrencies that in the near future you'll be able to use them to buy a house or to buy your car or take a loan to buy a house instead of being approved by a bank here you can actually be able to do that in this space. And now in South Africa, you are also able to buy a house using cryptocurrencies. You can buy a car. Actually, you can buy anything in South Africa using cryptocurrencies. All right, more especially when you are buying online. Okay, so things are actually developing very fast. And that's one of those few things that you good people need to understand, that the world is changing and it's changing very fast. I was telling people on my Facebook page that the next pandemic will actually be the layoffs and retrenchments. That will be the next pandemic, because the world as we see it is actually changing very fast. Things will not be the same next year, this time. This time next year, things will be completely different. We are taking a very quickly 360 degrees in terms of change. I'm telling you the honest truth, because now the market is actually dominated by people. No longer the banks and regulators, no longer the government. People are actually driving the direction that they want to take. All right. By the look of things, many times government have failed people. Tell me, what is the reason for war between Ukraine and Russia? What is actually the reason? People are tired of all those things. They are actually looking for alternatives that will actually make them to be less dependent on government, to be less dependent on all these political shenanigans that are actually taking place in South Africa. So those are the few things that I hope you understand and you are learning. Obviously, individual cryptocurrencies are also available on this platform, but those are the few things that I actually wanted to share with you guys, so that you understand that there are other different options that are less risky. All right, other than having 5,000 deposit invested in Cardano, people who actually very much risk averse can actually use the bundles, so that you know that, okay, I've just put my funds in the top 10 of this and so, or in another top 10 of this and so. All right, you know that if ever 9 is moving up and 1 is going down, you are still covered, you are still profitable. So those are the ways to diversify. Most especially when I'm dealing with people who are in retirement and so forth, these are the kind of bundles that I always consider for them, so that they won't be in a very much volatile market. So they will be actually protected and be covered in that way. So that's one of those few things that I needed you to understand when it comes to what the Revix platform, and you can also download an app. But note, you do not need to have all these things. Sometimes it's good to know without having to stretch yourself too thin. Just imagine you have 1,000 rand, and then there's 1,000 on Luno. I mean, there's 100 rand on Luno, another 100 rand on Val, another 100 rand on CoinDirect, another 100 rand on Alcon, another 100 on Coinbase, another 100 on Binance, another 100 on Revix. It doesn't make sense. You know, you won't see growth because your small capital is spread too thin. As much as if you have a small capital, you can just use 1 or 2 of the platforms, then that's all. Sometimes when we share different platforms, it's simply because we are dealing with different people who might have further interest, but it's not necessarily mean every one of you guys must actually have everything in every platform. For us, we are in the educational sector. We are educating people about crypto, blockchain, metaverse, non-fungible tokens, and all those sort of things. So that is why we actually participate. We analyze the market for the media all over. That is why we must know everything. Everything that is actually taking place is one of those things that we share big time with people. And then I will also encourage you to always check the blockchain website, btc.com. That is the blockchain website. So there's a whole lot of information that you can actually get from Explorer. Here it actually show you different mining activities that are actually taking place. All right, let me come this side. Okay, so I hope you can see this. So these are all activities that are taking place. These are pools or mining pools that are actually taking place, and rewards that they are getting. Yeah, those are sort of different things you need to know just for information sake. Okay, so if you understand that, that will be very beautiful. All right. And you can also, if ever you do have a big machine that you can use to actually mine, you can also do your own personal mining. Remember, mining is not this thing of recruiting. You remember how people saying they are doing mining, they recruit and they recruit, people are paying big monies, and you know those scams, they are always taking place, and they change in names, and then they blow off, another one comes up, another one blow off. It's something that you can just do it yourself. Staking and mining is something you can do yourself. For instance, if ever you want to be the part of this pool, you can just click go mining and then check it out, and then you will also be covered. So that's a quickly simple and straightforward thing for anyone to do. I hope that is a clear and straightforward, good people. But you need to have like big machines and big server, something that will not be affected by load shedding, something that will actually keep going. Okay, so if ever you want to do that, you must actually invest in your hardware so that it won't fail you. All right, I hope that is still clear and straightforward. So the blockchain website is called btc.com. You can actually revisit that website, and there will be a whole lot of information that you will actually benefit from that website. And then I also indicated that you can also check out the website Changely Blog, whereby you can see different predictions for the next 8 to 10 years. All right, this one was about I think this one was about what? Ethereum, ne? But you can check any technical analysis, the forecast for 2022, prediction for 2023, to see how far it can actually go, and potential returns that you can actually get from the certain coin. For instance, this year you can expect by December to have like 35%, and then in 2023, for the whole year, it is actually expected that the Ripple will grow by 115%. So these are just benchmarks. In 2024, it can grow up by 209%. And then in 2025, 350%. 2026, 571%. So that is why it's very much important for you, good people, to actually have what we call a perspective of a longer term. When we talk about 2027, we can see it growing by 924%, and 2028, 1,376. Why I'm actually taking you afar now is so that I create that mentality of not only thinking about the now, but we can extend our thinking. When you look at 2022 to 2028, you can actually see the growth of more like 1,300%. That may take place, and that is very much possible. Even more than 1,376% when you are actually looking in the next 8 years. So that's one of those few things that good people, I need you to understand. Because according to my own personal analysis, in the next 10 years, I see Ripple a price above 1,000 rand. In the next what? In the next 10 years, I see it above 1,000 rand. Currently, it's about 5 rand, 6 rand. But in the next 10 years, I'm talking like 2030, 2032, because time flies. That is what you must have in mind. When you are actually investing now, you must have a long-term perspective, not only the short term. You must also think of like in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. Because when you are actually investing in property, some of you, they invest in property, they know that they'll be paying for this property for the next 20 years. And they do not have a problem with that. Every month they are paying, all right? Even though there are many other options, you can pay less and less interest for the property. But people, they just have 20 years in their mind and they continue to pay. So same thing here. I am encouraging you that when you look at the blockchain, the crypto market, you mustn't look at it at the perspective of a short term, okay, only. It must be at a perspective of a long term, mid term, and 8 years, 10 years, and so forth. I was saying to one of my colleagues, you know, people sometimes they invest for 10 years in certain policies, investment policies, and those things are actually not growing, but they just continue to invest because they do not know the alternatives. But when they come into the crypto space, they expect magic, that's something that will actually be miraculously in a space of few months. The same person who's been paying for an educational policy that is not growing, but you've been faithfully and religiously paying for it for the last 10 years, and the money you are withdrawing for it is actually less than what you've actually invested, and you are still comfortable and grateful for that. But when it comes to the crypto space, the attitude is different. You want for a quick fix thing. It doesn't work like that. All right. So that's one of those few things that you need to understand, that the winners in this game are the people who have a perspective of what? Of a long term. So from this website, you can actually put any other currency and you can see the analysis as well as the predictions that can actually take you through. So that's one of those few things that I am encouraging you to check out at any given moment. All right. So having said that, okay, we've covered the Binance one. So yeah, so we've covered the Binance one. And then let me quickly remind you that another beautiful and easy way to check in terms of what is happening in the news, what is actually happening over. Please, guys, when you actually go to Google, all right, you can go to Google and check things like crypto, all right? So when you click cryptocurrency, for instance, and then you go straight to the news, and you can actually read up in terms of what is actually happening and all those things. The Ethereum is moving from the proof of work to the proof of stake, all right? So that will be happening in September, and what impact that is going to have in the market. So that's one of those few things that you need to understand. If that shift and the merger is actually successful, Ethereum, other people are saying Ethereum will actually overtake the price of Bitcoin, all right? So people are actually waiting for the successful transaction from the proof of work to the proof of stake. From there, and then people will actually be seeing and contemplating that Ethereum can actually topple the price of Bitcoin. Just imagine, currently Ethereum price is less than 30,000, but if ever the shift and the merger, when it actually shift, and it's happening next month, and if it's a success and everyone is convinced about the future of Ethereum, I'm telling you, if ever others are saying the price of Ethereum can actually reach 300,000 from 30,000, yes, of course, in the near future, I'm seeing Ethereum reaching 500,000 probably in the next 8 years or so. But other people are actually predicting that they will see it happening sooner than that. All right. So the replacement is a proof of stake. So that is what we call the Ethereum 0.2. It's depending on the 15th of September. So we will actually be monitoring in terms of how the Ethereum price will be doing. Remember, last month, the Ethereum price was down to 17,000, and this month was up to 34,000. That was already 100% growth and development that has already taken place. Something that I always emphasize, that when the market goes down or drops down, that opens the beautiful opportunities for me and you to do what? To consider buying. So those one of the few things that you need to actually consider every time and all the time. I hope you are quite clear about that, good people, because those are the few updates that I wanted to inform you about, and then take some few questions that obviously you may have. I hope you've learned something. And before I move to the obvious, all right? So the obvious platforms is the likes of Luno. And Luno is one to keep for a longer term. You know, Luno is good for transactions. Let's say you want to send money from one exchange to the other. Luno is always a beautiful one to do that. It's easier, it's very quick. All these other ones can also do the same, but as much as Luno has like 7 currencies, but I always recommend it for keeps. It's got a good feature for news and analysis. So it's something that you can always revisit now and again. All right. But I hope they will be increasing the coins that they may have. Otherwise, in the near future, they will actually lose out because people will actually, oh, they're asking me many things, will actually consider the other crypto exchanges that have lesser, that have more options than them. All right. Another South African exchange that is very much good with more than 50 cryptos is VAD. So yeah, that's another one. You can also check it out and look to consider. And then another one we have is a CoinDirect. Even though I no longer recommend a whole lot of CoinDirect because they are making the initial deposit, they are making it expensive. Sometimes in the past it used to be 500, but other people are saying now they are saying 5,000. For business, obviously it's 5,000, but for private, last time I checked, it was like 500. All right, so that's when we were starting our accounts. It was like 500, but it's still a very good platform, and yeah, for a longer term, still fine. And then obviously, one of the oldest after the Bitcoin, after the Luno is the Alcon Trader, and the likes of Shiba Inu and many others are also available on the Alcon Trader. So let me see Shiba Inu. I want to check. I remember last time with 200 Rand, you can get like 1 million Shiba Inu. Let me check with 250. Yeah, with 200 Rand, you can still, okay, 230. Yeah, you can still get like 1 million Shiba Inu. So yeah, there's still a room for growth in the likes of Shiba Inu. We spoke about some stuff last time in terms of other shop accepting the likes of Shiba Inus and every other thing. So that's another beautiful thing that you actually need to understand about all these opportunities available at your own disposal. So I hope that is still clear and straightforward. So you are already familiar with this, but don't always remember that it's important when you are actually analyzing the market. It's important to use the news properly. Check the news, everyday news. There's a whole lot that you can learn and take from everyday news. So if you understand what I mean, so you need to always follow through on that one, because there's a lot of opportunities for us to learn the direction of the market from them. Okay, I hope that is clear. And tomorrow, I think there will be a GDP, a gross domestic product, US, that can also have an impact on the crypto space. It can have an impact on the crypto space. That's what we also have to check and look out for, because it's an element of those opportunities. And then, before I go to your questions, I will, if ever you have a question, I will recommend that you put your question in the comment section. So quickly jump into the comment section and put some of the questions that you may have there. so that I will quickly be able to attend some of the questions you may have. All right, so if you can actually quickly do so, I will be very much happy. If you can actually quickly do so, I will be very much happy. All right, I hope that is clear and straightforward, good people. Okay, so if it's like that, I will be very happy and all. All right, but in the meantime, can I ask you if you have any questions so far? Bring about your questions so that in the next 8 minutes, I will be responding in terms of the questions that you may have. I will quickly be responding. All right. So any questions so far? Any questions so far, good people? Okay, let me quickly check. I was checking something on my phone. So now let me move on. All right. What notes are you waiting for? Galaxy A11, what notes are we waiting for? Which stable coins a person can buy? All right. Even though I'm not a fan of stable coin, but you can check USDT, you can check USDC. So those are some stable coins that you can actually check out. Yeah, on Alcon Trader, they are also available. So there are a few stable coins available. There's a USD Theta, USD coin. So those are the few you can actually check out. But the thing is, stable coins are actually pegged to a dollar, for instance. So their growth goes with the growth of a dollar. If the dollar declines, they decline. If the dollar grows, they actually grows. That is why it's called a stable coin, because it's more like they are tracking the dollar growth. All right. According to your long-term analysis, has Bitcoin reached a... All right, some of you will remember in the past, I made it clear that I see the bottom of Bitcoin around 300,000. So in the past, it did play around 320, but I still see it going down to at least 300,000. That is the bottom I'm waiting for, according to my personal analysis. And maybe it can go to 290, but at 300, that is what I call the one of the heavy bottoms. Okay, so all right. So while will EdMatch affect the price? If it's successful, I see Ethereum actually climbing, because the price of Ethereum currently is actually undervalued. So I actually see it climbing, more especially over the long term. All right, so more especially over the long term. All right, how do I access the bundles like a smart contract? Yes, they are available on Revit, the website that I was showing you, and you can also download that app. Can we still jump on Ripple before that 15? It's about the Earth. 15 is more about the Ethereum, less about the Ripple. All right, so if ever you get that, fine, then that will be beautiful. Okay, so yeah, I have a problem of logging in. It says I must put a username that I do not remember using. Username is actually your email address when you are looking in into your exchange. All right, so username is mostly an email address. Yeah, so it's always an email address. You must check that out. Unless otherwise you forgot that email, then that is another problem. Okay, but if you still remember the email, then that will be quite fantastic, because that is the same email you are actually supposed to use as what we call a username. Okay, so I hope we are covered on that one. All right, where I am now. So if that is actually clear, that will be fantastic. That will be quite fantastic. Okay. And then next question, please. As before we close, any other questions? And then remember, every time you need to diversify, it's important that you are able to do what? To diversify your accounts. Okay, so if you are able to diversify your accounts, that will be beautiful. I hope that is still clear and straightforward. If that is so, and then I will actually check and confirm. Okay. I'm checking. One second. All right. Looks like so when the market goes down, you don't have to panic and sell when the market is down. Remember that we buy low and sell high. All right, we buy low and sell high. So that's one of those few things that you need to understand. So when it's like the market is actually going down, you need to actually understand that our aim is to always buy low and sell high. Okay, so if we are together and you understand that accordingly, that will be beautiful. So seemingly I do not have any other questions, and I'm having another class. What is this? Can you please add me? Okay, you must send via our WhatsApp. Okay, our WhatsApp number is 076 810 0953. Because I'm not in a position to write down this number, you must send it directly to our WhatsApp number. Ripley, any case of Ripley shooting for the moon? That one, it depends on a SEC case. So once they win that case, then most definitely Ripley will shoot for the moon. And then last time, yes, you can email info@safia.co.za and request. You must indicate which notes do you want, because when our administrator attended the email, she wants to know what notes Is it for shares? Is it for what? Because everyone used the same email to request those notes. Okay, so I hope that I've answered most of your questions. Okay, all right. So I hope that is clear and straightforward. Other than that, I will say thank you so much for joining us, and God bless you. Enjoy the rest of the evening. We will see you in the next few days again. It's just that now I am having a 350 challenge session, and of which I'm also inviting some of you who are also interested to be part of a 350 challenge. It's a very exciting challenge. It's not easy. That is why we call it a challenge. But if you believe in yourself that you can actually understand and stand to make at least 1% of your capital, then you must join this challenge. All right. A physical one, we will have it in Durban from the 3rd of October till the 7th. And then for those that they will actually be interested to attend remotely, it will be available from 6 to 8 on the same date, 3rd of October till the 7th. And then it's going to be fully online. And I'm very excited and happy about the current groups. And we are progressing nicely. And I'm telling you that this one is not easy, but it's for those that are committed, not people who actually used to get rich quick schemes. Here we educate you 90%. 90% is education, 10% is executing what we've learned. So that's one of those few things that you need to understand. That is why I am actually inviting you, but I'm calling for what? For commitment. So other than that, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you in the next few days again. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and good night.